It is Moon Day, June 24th, 2024. And do you know, now that I think about it, what I did not see in any of my social media feeds, which I'm kind of surprised about. So now after this, I will definitely, well, maybe not. I don't know. I might look into it. But the 24th with 2024, it's just, as far as numerology is concerned, repetition always matters. So I wonder if there's like a portal type of energy, with 2 6s, which make it 12, and that makes 3. So anyway, hello Ron, so excited that you're here. Welcome. I was just talking about how it's the 24th of June. So that's a 6 and a 6, and then it's 2024, so that's another 6, but that leaves the 2, but we don't need to keep going. Welcome, Peter. Oh my goodness, yes, so we just had the summer solstice, and I am just like this conversation has always happened live at night for obvious reasons, maybe not, but of course it's a child's world up in here, and I just live in it. And so we simply cannot have a quality time if if my child is awake. So I do this at night, and I love to wear black and just things that are for nighttime. But then I realized with the summer solstice, that was last Thursday, that it's, we may watch it again at a different time. Ron, Peter is saying hi to you on the chat. Thank you so much. That's right. Ron says nighttime is majestic and eternally enigmatic. Ooh, Ron, are you writing? Do you have your journal with you? Let's get to some journaling. I'm so excited. And here's the thing. We have a lot to discuss because astrologically speaking, it's one of those weeks where we shouldn't have a lot of drama, emotionally speaking, because I feel like that's, as far as the astrology is concerned, it's that either spiritual, if you will, emotional landscape that is above the physical landscape. I hope that made sense. You know what I mean. You know what I'm saying. But I feel like the last 2 weeks have been pretty dramatic. I don't know if you did your moon journaling, but here's my full moon journaling. I haven't painted over it because I've actually felt compelled to read it several times. So I'm going to paint over it, hopefully tonight, maybe just whenever I feel like it. But I did journal for that Capricorn full moon. And here's the thing. In July, we have the second Capricorn full moon. So we should talk a little about Capricorn because Ron is a Capricorn. And it's just, just like all the other zodiac signs, it's important. But the thing about Capricorn is it's one of 3 cardinal signs, and then there's the mutable signs and so on and so forth. And cardinal, think about not the bird, but it's like first, it's ahead, it's gearing the charge, it's a starter. And so cardinal signs tend to start things. And it's definitely that journey, but the thing that gives Capricorn its seriousness, and you see the symbol of it, it's not just a goat or a ram, but it has the tail of a mermaid. And so it's just amazing. But it's ruled by Saturn, and Saturn, Papa Saturn, that we've talked so much about here, is the lesson giver. It's that smack in the hand when you get caught with your hand in the cookie jar, in whatever context you want to place that in your own life, right? It's that moment of recognition when you stumble upon the same rock and you kind of smack into, why does this keep happening? What is this telling me? What is the lesson here? Because I definitely don't want to keep making the same mistake, right? And I feel like those moments of interaction with the universe or just with life, Saturn is very involved, in my own opinion, in my own practice, and in just my own way of reasoning through all of it. And with these two full moons, with Saturn still in Pisces as a planet itself, and Pisces, like we've discussed, being the magical aspect of this dream life that we are envisioning. And so individually, we have so many things going on, right? We have projects, we have quotas, we have friendships, relationships, we have plans, and we have specific things that we have to do, right? Like putting next year's book together, or it's June and I still haven't published the poetry that I've been working on because clearly it's not ready, and so on and so forth. And whatever the dream life is, which is all kind of simmering in Pisces, where there's no bounds and where there's no, the sky is not the limit, where Pisces is concerned, and when with the dreaming is concerned. But Saturn comes into play to kind of really bring our focus into the boundaries of what can be done in the moment for this big picture, because this big picture is great and we can romanticize about it all day long, but what are we doing for it at the end of the day? Ron says, I always appreciate, oh, thanks so much, Ron. It's I don't know if it's passion, but I definitely get it because I do love talking about it, but it's all these words that I'm trying to put together. So I'm glad that my train of thought comes out as passion, right? So I appreciate that. Now, let's talk about the full moon before we start with the week, because that full moon was, I feel like, a little intense. There's that tail I spoke about. So this is, even though the animal is that head or the torso of a mammal, of an earth animal, the tail is a mermaid. So reflect on your relationship with your origins and your goals. If this is your first time watching, we are following Moon Magic and Mindfulness with Grace 2024 Manifestation Agenda / Journal. Yes, Ron, this is the second edition, and I won't start putting the third edition together officially until around July, so the clock is ticking. My notes are pretty scattered when it comes to next year's book, and I will not deal with any of that until July, possibly August. So we're following this book, and in this book you get to journal and plan your week. Every moon day you get journaling pages, and the rest of the week you get instructions as to how to maximize your time by time blocking. And if you have any questions, please comment and let me know what that is. But the most exciting part for me for the book, or from the book, is that every new moon and full moon you get to journal and paint. If you want to paint over it, you don't have to, but I have had this practice for many years where I journal specific precious things that are just way too close to my heart to kind of leave on a day-to-day Dear Diary type of journal where I write all kinds of parental notes, technical notes, you know what I mean? Just day-to-day notes. And so it started for safety reasons when I just didn't feel safe with what I was writing in my home as a child. I was literally like 12. And then it became this moon thing that I don't just do any other day. And that is to journal and then to paint over it so you don't get to see any of the journaling. And you might put a date on it. I do like to put the date on it. I do not make notes about what's written there. And most of the time I can look at the picture and remember what I wrote, but other times it's just a more, you should try it. You should try it for yourself and see how that practice evolves. But I just love painting over it and creating something new. And so in the book, you get the space to journal and paint. I want to show you my wisteria. All right. So this full moon in Capricorn, reflect on your relationship with your origins and your goals. So Ron, if you have your journal out, or anyone watching, bring out your journals if you don't have mine. And this is about comparing and contrasting where you're coming from, what your roots are, what your baggage is, everything that is behind you and what that entails, versus where you're going and what you're trying to create. What's that dream that's simmering in Pisces right now that Saturn is trying to kind of really bring a more technical view into play. And then Mars in Taurus this week is also kind of pushing us to start building for real, putting the blocks together of the things that we are doing, even if it's a slow process. How do those two things, your roots, your baggage, your shadow, versus your goal, how do those two things play a role in your life choices? So are you choosing from your past? Are you choosing from your core wounding? Are you choosing from your past trauma? Are you choosing from, extrinsic pressure, people, or just situations in your life in general? Or are you choosing because this is what you really want? This is what you're really being called to do? Are you in those types of moments in life? And if not, then this doesn't apply to you, and that's all good. But if it does, then, thinking about life in these terms really helps you unravel some of the chaos that you may be experiencing. Ron says, is there any chance to tell your goose story? I don't mean to steer it. Oh my gosh, Ron. That is so random. But sure, let's bring up pet loss trauma to the table and see how I can play it in this conversation. Ron, we're going to put a pin on it, so just keep watching and I will tell the goose story. But what adjustments could help you create a more harmonious alignment? Alignment is the goal, and harmony. So Venus is in Gemini right now. No, I'm sorry. No, that was before last week. Venus has transitioned into Cancer actually 2 days before the solstice. So Venus is in Cancer, so everything that we value, everything that we love, everything that resonates with us on a sensual, in the sense of your senses, so touch and smell, right? Anything that appeals to your senses right now is in Cancer, aiding or asking or probably maybe screaming to be nurtured and to be paid attention to and making it important, because it is, right? And the sun is also in Cancer, shedding light on all that Venus brings to the table when it comes to that transit. And so all of that to say, Venus rules Libra, and Venus rules over the harmony. Venus wants to come into an argument and seek diplomacy and equality and fairness and have a good time and, you know, peace and love, because in the end don't we want interactions to be harmonious? Yes, we absolutely do. And so some of these questions are meant to for you to harmonize and attune to your own ideology in order to then decide how to move about and how to show up and how to have conversations that allude to the things you're figuring out. I hope that all made sense. Question number 2, in what ways have recent emotions, like, you know, like how we were all in our feelings during the full moon? Yes. Particularly those associated with familial attachments and professional ambitions. So family, relationships, you can add friends there if if you're listening and you have friends and you're not in a relationship, I guess I should say. How have your emotions influenced your decision? And how can acknowledging these emotions bring you closer to your true desires? And do you even know what those are? And if you don't know what those are, then what do you want? It doesn't hurt to really make a list. And number 1, you know, I want to get out of here. This is some kind of lists I've created in my life. Want to get out of here. Number 2, I want a picnic basket. I did not ask for a pet goose, but I did get it. So I guess this is a great time to talk about tragic pet loss. I mean, listen, in what ways have recent emotions, particularly those associated with familial attachments? Here's the thing. Let me tell you about this story. My grandfather, who thanks for the encouragement, Ron. My grandfather, who was schizophrenic, had just, within the week, had an episode. And he was very lucky to have made it out alive. And the whole family was distraught. And we probably all needed a distraction. And this is really, what I'm telling you right now is some of the reasoning that me and my dad, came to a conclusion after discussing this situation many times over the span of my whole life until, he passed, because we don't know where this baby chick came from, this hatchling who just appeared on our front door one morning calling out when I was 9. And so, and right before, like, my mom had already left for work, and my dad always went to work later than my mom, so he was still getting ready, and I was still in bed, and I was 9, and I have no idea. I guess I was staying home that day. Summertime. I did go to summer camp for a long time, but I guess on this day I wasn't. And this baby chick comes and appears in the front door, and my dad just wakes me up, hands it to me, and says his name is Copito, and, we'll figure it out later. Okay? So, fast forward, and we asked all the neighbors in the street, and all the neighbors in the street behind us, and all the neighbors on the other block, and nobody knew where this chick came from. And I had him for 3 years. And I had a lot of fun, and it was amazing, and it was beautiful. And then I was forced to abandon him at a park. And that's the end of the story. And that's considered traumatic pet loss. So that's why I introduced it this way. So if you ever lost a pet to being forced to leave it behind somewhere, it really sucks. And I am sorry. But Emotions related to familial attachments, I really hated that my parents did that for a very long time. I still kind of do. I don't think I'll ever get over it. And I really hope that I can get another pet goose, but it just won't be the same, you know? Because you never know. No two beings are the same. So I don't know that I'll get another round with a new pet goose that will be, as sweet and just as gentle as mine was. Ron says he forgot the sad part. Didn't mean to go down a depressing road. Well, we are in Cancer season, so we might as well just be in our feelings. Peter says maybe Betsy is your new pet goose. Absolutely. Betsy is my rescue pet goat, and she definitely is divine and heaven sent. So I absolutely agree, Peter. But I still would love another goose and possibly some ducklings. So let's just journal all that up and see how I can manifest that, right? Now let's go to today. 21 minutes into the hour, and that was all just the full moon, okay? Today we have waning gibbous in Aquarius, the innovator. So how are we really being called to do things differently? If your standard mode of operation up until now has been complaining, I've been there. I have found myself like in a negative spiral of faster, and just, complaining. But Saturn or, Mars in Taurus kind of calling us out, or maybe it is Mercury in Cancer as well with Venus uh, shedding light into what we really value or what we should be really doing. Um, I don't know what it is, but there's a moment where I find myself really wanting to snap out of it because there's this whole nother spectrum of things. There's this whole nother way of doing things and of looking at a situation and figuring it out until it fits, until it flows, until it grooves. And so Pluto is going to be in Aquarius for the next 20 years. So, whatever it is that you're building right now and that you're doing slowly but surely, and hopefully you're navigating frustration in a healthy way, and hopefully you're navigating the negativity of, the reality of how slow things move, right? With grace, because otherwise it's just a disservice to yourself, right? And to the people around you. So the affirmation for this moon is I honor my emotional depth and celebrate the innovative and distinct ways in which I contribute to the collective good. Now, that's very Aquarius. I don't know if you remember last year we talked a lot about Aquarius, and we probably will again at some point. But it's not just about innovation, and it doesn't just rule over technology along with Mercury, both air signs, by the way. But Aquarius wants to be about the people. It usually is someone holding a water vase or vase, and pouring over a river or over whatever. And so we've talked about Aquarius in the sense of making absolute sure that we fill our own cup before we pour onto others. So I do remember touching on that aspect of Aquarius. And so that pouring onto others, I feel like it's also why it's technology oriented, because we keep evolving as a species and we keep just growing in this the flow of technology, which I think now it's a bit too fast for how our bodies are trying to assimilate and assess and incorporate and, integrate the technology. But it's still about the people. It's still about us making the most of it and taking advantage of it and doing the best that we can with the technology available for the good of all. Now, I just don't know where we kind of went astray from that, but let's not get political. But this is why honoring my emotional depth and celebrating the innovative ways that I am moving about in my life with the greater good in mind is important. And so that's the affirmation for today. Now, the moon is going to continue to be in Aquarius tomorrow. By Wednesday, it's going to move into Pisces. And this is going to kind of not rob, rob the wrong way um, with the North Node in Aries. So Saturn bringing all these boundaries and all these lessons with the North Node in Aries that is saying, no, but I want to do it this way. No, but this is really what I want. So I just want to focus on this. No, but I really feel like I should be doing this right now. So even though you're telling me I should be doing this other thing, I'm just going to do this one. But all these other transits are kind of pointing toward, okay, great, but how is all of this related to the greater plan? So there's a lot to think about, but it's not as dramatic, I feel like, as previous, as the previous 2 weeks. And then Thursday, we have that moon in Pisces again, and Neptune is also there. So every time the moon is in Pisces, get your dream journal. If you like to, I don't know, put crystals under your pillow, that's up to you. Try that. But the thing about Pisces and the moon being in Pisces is that we've compared notes about this before as well. We get a lot of vivid dreaming. And so if you're into reading what's up with your dreams, I know some people who believe dreams are just absolutely nonsensical and there's no point in even thinking or bothering with them. And I know people who will really want to have a conversation or even a coaching conversation about what their dream was about. And so keep a dream journal next to your bed. And if you wake up in the middle of the night and something comes up, just a thought or some knowing that you just dreamt it and you woke up and I remember, then write it down. And remember also that it may not make sense right away, but that's the point of writing your date on where you journal so that you can look back and say, oh, now I figured out what I wrote 3 days ago. These are some of the things that happen if you're an avid journaler. So where my avid journalers at in the room. And then Friday, we have the last quarter, dun dun dun, in Aries, and the North Node is in Aries. And, there's this sextile conjunction happening, which is not sextile conjunction, just a sextile, but a conjunction is also a favorable or a positive transit with this North Node in Aries. Ron says, my dreams are big and small, some short, some tall, but great they are all and all. Okay, Ron is very funny today. Ron, you have been missed. Yes, I'm very glad. But have you ever journaled what you dream? That's my question. Very cute with the rhyme, but have you ever journaled what you dream? And if you haven't, maybe this is your invitation to try. Saturday, we have a moon in Aries as well. So I'm hoping that some action will start to happen if it hasn't yet. With Mars in Taurus, Mars also rules Aries. And so Aries is that cardinal fire sign that starts things. It's the spark. It's that, hint of interest that just provokes something else. And that could be anything from, reconnecting with people, starting a project, or doing something spontaneous. Ron says, tons of fun. Yes, you're welcome. And then Sunday, we have a moon in Taurus, which I am 100% certain will prompt us to really rest on Sunday, because Taurus is pretty, it's that heavy cow that walks and takes its time and just eats, class A grass and gets to be majestic all day long. And then we start July on a moon day. How fun is that? By next week, it'll be July. And in July, we have a new moon in Cancer on the 5th. And on the 21st, we have that full moon in Capricorn again. And so we will discuss more about that for sure, because it's just, hang on. I feel like it's a lot of drama, but it's for our own good. It's drama that is meant to shake us up and make us pay attention. And the more I study it, the more I see it, right? In the wild, in the world around me, in the people and how they move around me, and the things I see online. And so it's just fascinating and interesting. So thank you for indulging me. Now, let's review and then get back to that meditation. So we have a moon in Aquarius today. How are you putting into play or work some of the revelations that you may have received for the full moon? And with that said, I want to say thank you, because it's cute and it's interesting how my tweets don't do very well on X, but when I put my tweets on TikTok or Instagram, they're very well received. So I wanted to say thank you, because I've been going through not a lot in the sense of heaviness and drama, but just a lot of different things. And feeling like when I get to the journal, I don't know where to start. I don't know what to focus on in my journaling from all the things that are, just taking place in our life. And when I write a tweet, it's usually because I'm thinking about the astrology and I saw something somewhere or around me that prompted that download, if you will, or that moment of insight. And so the fastest way to get it out is to make a tweet about it, right? And so essentially, they're just downloads that are happening live. I'm not pre-writing them, and I'm not pre-planning them, and they're definitely not AI generated either. And so I want to say thank you, because on TikTok they're very well received, and so they are. So are they on Instagram. And so how are you doing things differently, right? That's what Aquarius wants to ask. And this is new for me, sitting at my journal and not knowing where to start, because that's how overwhelming my life currently is new. And so going to Twitter is a way to do it differently. See, here's the thing. Doing things differently does not mean that you need to make sure the next thing you do that is different is not a mistake. Like it's a question of, can you take action even if it's imperfect? What can you take action on? What can you put to work with the resources you have? And if you absolutely cannot because you have zero resources, then where do you go from there? So it's about action. It doesn't have to be perfect. So the affirmation for the week is, I honor my emotional depth and celebrate the innovative and distinct ways in which I contribute to the collective good. We have the moon moving into Pisces Wednesday and Thursday, and by Friday it's going to be in Aries, hopefully getting into action with some of the things that I'm hoping the moon in Pisces will help us make sense of with some of the dreaming. I mentioned the crystals under your pillow because I've heard of amethyst, and moonstone always comes to mind when it comes to dream or emotional work or just moon magic, right? And so if you want to kind of play a part in aiding in this kind of request that you're putting out into the universe of, I would like to know what my dreams are about, or hey, universe, knock, knock, it's me. I would like to remember what my dreams are so that I can journal them. And here's a little gift I'm going to put under my pillow for you. And there's the crystal. If that resonates, then try it and let me know what happens. I would love to know. And then we end with a moon in Taurus on Sunday. That will probably keep us, pretty lazy and chill. And so that's it for this week. Now, next week, we get to start July. And for July, we have a brand new page with the calendar with important dates like the 22nd, where Leo season starts. And we have a quote for every for every month. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Oh, you're halfway there. Oh, leave it on a prayer. Yep, you're halfway there because it's the middle of the year. I kind of remember all of my dreams. Yes, I remember all of my dreams too, so I'm not surprised that you do. My baby sis is in the room. Peter says, I love when you integrate songs into your show. Bon Jovi just came through, everybody. Right? That's him. I hope so. I'm not very good with like 80s music, but I do know that's a classic. Living on a prayer. All right. So let's get to the meditation, everybody. Thank you, Peter. Sit back and relax. We got our music here because the little fellow went to sleep so nicely. We had a nice long day. And as you all know, music for this meditation is brought to you by Brain FM. You can find a free trial or a discount membership in the description, in the bio, everywhere. At the bottom of my link tree is the link for your Brain FM free trial. We're going to go to meditate, unguided, and I love the chimes and bowls. If you know why we love the chimes and bowls, but we go way back. And let's do some breathing, relax. If you're able, close your eyes, lay back. If you're driving, do not close your eyes and just breathe. If you're driving, also do not hold your breath. Just breathe as deep as you can. Perfect. If you fall asleep while you're on my meditation, then I have accomplished what I wanted, which is for you to relax. To take this moment, if you have not done this at all in your day, then this is the moment to follow my lead as I guide you through some breath work and some affirmations so that you can relax and unwind. So if you're ready, nice and relaxed and steady, take a deep breath through your nose, nice and slow, deep breath. Fill your lungs nice and slow all the way. Hold your breath at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale nice and very slow through your mouth. Nice and slow breath out all the way till you have no air. And hold that breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, and inhale once more through your nose. Nice and long. Inhale. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale through your mouth. Long exhale. And as you rest into this exhale, I want you to envision yourself in an open field with the wind in the perfect temperature. And as you stand there, eyes closed, steady breeze. I want you to feel and ponder how amazing this moment of stillness feels like. How precious, how important, and how necessary it's to take this moment. And there's a lot happening, and there's a lot at stake, and there's a lot to lose. But in this moment, you are still. You are grounded. And with me, take a deep breath through your nose. Nice deep breath. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale through your mouth. Long exhale. Hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and inhale once more through your nose. Long, deep inhale. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale nice and slow through your mouth. And as you relax into this exhale, ponder these affirmations. I honor my emotional depth and celebrate the innovative ways in which I contribute to the collective. I embrace the emotional revelations and expressions that are surfacing within me. I accept their rawness and recognize their value in helping me navigate a balanced approach for the task at hand. I am safe. I am guided. I am protected. With me, take one last breath through your nose. Deep, fill your lungs, breath, hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale nice and slow through your mouth. Long exhale, hold it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and one last deep breath in. Deep breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, and exhale through your mouth. Nice and slow. And as you relax in this exhale, bring your awareness back to your body. Wiggle your toes and come back to me. And Cecilia is in the room. Welcome. Good evening. So happy you could join us. And everyone, thank you again for connecting, for commenting, for sharing, for participating. Thank you so much, Peter. So many hearts to you, Cece. Thank you, Ron, and thank you, Nani. Thank you to Emma and the other Emma and Cece and all the Swifty chatters. There's just a lot going on. So I'm grateful for any and all interaction that, is not child related. And this was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to a more positive week on the sky front because I feel like the last 2 weeks were pretty dramatic. And this full moon, I don't know how you felt, but I was in my feels, and so were some of my besties. So how was it for you? You let me know. But yeah, I have to paint. I have to do my painting. I still have to do that. And figure out so many things, but it will all get done, all in due time, all in perfect timing. I will see you all next moon day. See you then. Bye.